Hi, this is Helena Hart, and I'm so excited to be talking with Adrienne Everheart again today. Adrienne is such a great friend of mine and an amazing coach. She's the author of 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. And in this video, we're going to be sharing 5 things to do right before you see him that are just going to make you so magnetic and irresistible that he just won't be able to get enough of you. So Adrienne, I am so excited. Welcome, and thank you for joining today.
Hi, Helena. Thanks again for having me on your channel. It's always great to do videos with you. And I'm super excited to talk about these 5 tips. These are 5 things you can do before you see the man, even if you're in a relationship or you're dating, and they'll definitely have him chasing you, have him pursuing you. You will be just magnetic and irresistible. So I'm looking forward to sharing these tips with everyone.
Yes, this is one of our juiciest topics. I'm always getting questions about, what do I do right before I see him, right? And I'm sure you hear from clients who email you right before they're about to see a guy. And it's just, something that can help all of us really, no matter where we're at in dating and relationships, right? Whether you're about to go on a first date or, you're about to see your guy who you've been with for years and maybe things have gotten a little stagnant and boring and you're really looking to spice things up and make him feel just so attracted to you that he just wants to come closer and closer. So let's jump in, Adrienne. What is that first thing a woman should be doing right before she sees her guy?
Well, right before you see him, just know that he can sense your energy from the moment the two of you connect until the last few minutes you're together. He'll be able to pick up on your vibe, feel your energy. So just as in yoga class or before you start your day, sometimes you set an intention. So an intention isn't something that it absolutely has to go this way. A lot of times an intention I set for myself during the day is I just want to express joy. Wherever I go today, I want to express joy. So when you set an intention before you see your man, it could be something really positive, such as I want to be open and receptive. I want to be fully present. I want to express with joy. I'm going to be, I'm going to really listen, or whatever it may be. Set a really simple but meaningful intention and say it to yourself several times before the date. Say it during the date, and just make sure you're staying in this place where you're really focused. You have that intention, you have that awareness. Now, we don't want you to get confused and think that that intention is so that this man will date me again, or he will come back to me, or it might be some way to control him. But we really want you to just look at, you can look at what you want the ending to feel like. Do you want it to feel soft and warm and happy? And put that into your intention.
Yes, I'm so glad you mentioned that about, you don't want to be results oriented. It's so funny. I was just talking to a client earlier this week, and she was about to see a guy who she, used to have a crush on, and he kind of, went distant and was pulling away. She hadn't heard from him for a while. Then, of course, after she started working with, our tools, as what normally happens, the guy always comes back around, right? So she was about to see him for the first time in several months, and first thing I told her was any goal you have around, getting him to ask you out again or sparking things back up, drop any goal you have. So I love what you said. Intentions are phenomenal, but you don't want to get so attached to a real specific outcome that has something to do with him, because we can't control him anyway, right? So keep it all about yourself. I love what you mentioned. Just, I want to experience joy. One that I say all the time is I just want to feel good. I just want to feel good, or I want to laugh and have fun and just be playful and lighthearted. Something that you have total control over and that's more process oriented rather than results oriented, or something to do with him. Because a man can feel that, right? If you have some kind of agenda and you're hoping for some certain outcome, not only, when it doesn't happen, you can feel really disappointed or feel like you didn't do things good enough. I hear that all the time from women, like, oh, if I was feminine enough, maybe he would have called back or asked me out again. And so you don't want to get into blaming yourself or beating yourself up. That's why you don't want to get too specific with these intentions. Keep it all about yourself and how you want to feel. Those are great. Adrienne, what do you think?
Yeah, I love that you are focusing on this is about you. This isn't about I'm going to control this person and I want this outcome to happen. As fun as that would be to have happen, we really want to make these intentions about you. The work Helena and I do, it's in feminine energy. It's about being authentic. And we can completely testify that when you are authentic and you're really who you are, no games, you're not trying to control the man, it works out. It really works for the best. So I wanted to share a few intentions with you that you could say or just try on. And one is, during this date, I'm not going to take anything personally. I'm not going to take anything personally that this person says or does to me. If I never hear from them again, whatever may happen, I'm not going to take it personally. So often I hear from women who tell me, oh, this man said something completely ticked me off during the date, and I was just ready to walk out the door. And go in with the intention that I'm not going to take anything personal that he says. I'm just going to show up. I'm just going to listen. Same with your husband. I can have this conversation with my husband. I can have this time with my boyfriend, and I'm not going to take anything they say personal. Another thing is, I'm only going to say really positive, good, sweet, kind, loving things about myself and other people today. So when that guy sits down in front of you in that date and you're like, oh my goodness, is he like really picking his teeth during our meal? Or, oh my goodness, he's something about his grooming is off or something. You'll want to go to the negative and just set that intention that I'm just going to focus on what's positive during this date or during this time with my boyfriend or my husband. It could be your mom or even your girlfriends or yourself. Just say really positive things. Amazing. And just set that intention that I'm gonna only speak about positive things during this date, or I'm gonna focus on things that make me feel good during this date or during this conversation, or I intend to just lean back this whole date. That's my intention. I'm just gonna lean back that whole date. I'm not gonna lean forward and really get involved, start fixing, doing, controlling, coaching, encouraging the man. I'm just going to lean back and just see what happens. And, just see what happens when you set those intentions, make them positive. And like Helena said, make them about yourself. They're all about you.
You know what I love about that? It just brought to mind something that I've kind of noticed over the years working with so many women is that the ones that meet the right guy for them, like they meet their future husband or boyfriend quickly within the first like 1 to 3 online dates or something like that, have a very similar thing going on for themselves. They all say the same thing. They all say, I just want to go out and practice and have fun. I'm going to go out and practice feeling statements, or I'm going to go practice leaning back or keeping my energy open or making eye contact and smiling. So have that. I love those intentions, what you said, right? Just something that you can practice. One little tool that you can do. Don't try and do everything at once if you're first starting out with this. But yeah, it's basically taking the focus off of him and what he's thinking and how things are going and putting it on yourself. And that is so magnetic to a guy. Oh my gosh, he will just be mesmerized by you. Everyone go try that and let us know how it goes.
Helena, I just wanted to add that one of the things that really stuck with my husband on our first date, I had forgotten about our first date. I showed up just with it was Christmas. We met on Christmas, gosh, almost 10 years ago. And I remember leaving to go on that date. I'm just like, I'm just going to party. I'm just going to have a good time. I'm just going to show up and have a good time. And I had like the night of my life. And the thing he said to me sometime after that date, he said, I really liked how comfortable you were with yourself. So the guy really feels it. And what can I say? They will chase you. I'm proof.
That is so true. Yeah. So I love that first one. So important. Everyone watching this too, let us know in the comment section, what are some intentions you can set before you see your guy or before you go out on a date or just go out and interact with new men. Let us know in the comment section. We love hearing from you. We always learn something. We learn as much from you guys and your experiences as you learn from us. So Adrienne, what is that second thing a woman should do before she sees her guy?
Yes. The second thing is make friends with the unfamiliar. That means I'm going to embrace discomfort. I'm going to, if something comes up and is uncomfortable, or if this date feels uncomfortable, if I'm nervous, if I'm a little shy about being vulnerable or shy about practicing my tools or whatever it is, you want to make friends with it. Just make friends with it and just take a moment and notice how you're feeling. Because when our minds start to race and they start to spin with all these ideas, for me, it feels like a freight train going by. I don't know if you feel this way, Helena, but it's like car after car after car after car of thought. And I really had to learn how to slow down and look at the cargo, the valuable cargo that's on every little part that's going by. And this is what I'm feeling. And that is what I'm feeling. And you're just noticing it and just taking that moment to just love yourself, honor yourself. I'm nervous. I feel scared. I feel really worried. I feel like this guy won't like me. I'm feeling insecure, whatever it may be. You're making friends with the thing that's uncomfortable. And when you make friends with discomfort, I think you know what happens, Helena, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it loses its power over you and you can move on to something else. Have you guys ever heard that term, like what you resist persists, right? Same with any unpleasant feeling. The more you resist it, I had an experience a few weeks ago where I was kind of on the verge of tears all day, but I'm like, I don't have time to feel this right now. I was going just, driving around, running errands. When I finally just stopped and let myself cry for 5 minutes, that was it. I was over it. I was through it, on to the next thing. And I know everyone's experienced that, right? So just let yourself feel it. I always say you have to make peace with where you are before you can move on to the next better place for you, right? Before you can get someplace else. So just love and embrace and accept all the feelings that are coming up in you. It's so important. And it actually makes you super magnetic and irresistible to a man for a lot of different reasons. I don't know if you wanted to go into that, Adrienne, but once a guy sees that, you love at yourself, even the parts of yourself that don't feel so good, that you don't necessarily want to show to others, that's how a man knows that you're going to truly accept him and all of his feelings and unpleasant parts of himself. And this is often happening on a subconscious level, but men can feel when we love ourselves or not. They really can, right, Adrienne?
Yeah, I mean, you're making me cry a little bit, I have to say, because it's really a special time in your life when you finally are like, I'm not going to run from myself anymore. I'm not going to run from what I'm feeling. This is what I'm feeling. And you own it. You become very powerful as a woman. You become
Oh,
very powerful in your vulnerability.
so true. You become just a magnet, not just for the man, but for all of your desires, because you're connecting to them. It's like you're connecting to your heart's true desires. And so maybe another topic for another video. Such a huge, powerful point. I didn't even know we were going to go there, but it's so important. Anything else you have to say about this one, or should we move on to number 3?
I'd like to go ahead and move on to number 3, and that is treat yourself with something special. This is something that's going to boost your feminine energy. And again, feminine energy is this invisible vibe. Helena and I both practice this tool where we teach you to widen the area between your hips and really relax the part of your body below your waist and make room for the man, make space for masculine energy so you can receive. And just when you do this one little body movement, men will just start noticing you and coming up to you. One of my funniest stories about doing is that a couple was in line in front of me in Whole Foods, and they were a gay couple, 2 men, and one guy had his cart and the other guy had his cart, and I was really practicing widening that area and being receptive, and I had just picked myself up a beautiful bouquet of hydrangea flowers, my favorite, and I was feeling really girly and feeling really powerful. And this man, who I'm very sure he was in a gay relationship, he just made me cut in line in front of him. I had more items than him in my basket. It was the most mind-blowing moment. So the power of being in your feminine energy is so powerful and feels so good to men that they really kind of lose their heads. They're just like, please, like, get in line in front of me. And so do something nice for yourself that's going to boost your feminine energy. Maybe you want to pick up a new pair of sexy undies, or get yourself some pretty flowers, or treat yourself to a manicure or a pedicure. You're doing that work to love the inside of you. Now go ahead and treat the outside of you. Or maybe it might be just some extra time in meditation, or a bubble bath, or some alone time, to go ahead and do more for the inside as well as the outside. But treat yourself to something special, and when you feel good, when you feel really grounded in your feminine energy, men will take notice everywhere. They cannot resist it. Am I right, Helena?
Oh yeah. I mean, I love that story, and I see it all the time, a few times a week at least. I get a comment, on one of my videos saying, "Oh my gosh, I just did this one little thing, shifted into my feminine energy, and this amazing thing happened." There's like, I got this, or this, every man at the gym came up to me and they were all staring at me, or there's these magical little things that happen. It can be so easy to miss them when we're cut off from our feminine energy and we're just up in our head, rushing through our day, trying to get home and get ready for the date, right? So I love what you said. We talked about the inner stuff. If you can do something on the outside, it can actually shift how you feel on the inside. So both of those in combination with one another, it's just hugely powerful. I love it. Anything else you have to say there, Adrienne?
Well, we're just coming at it from all angles with this video. And I just want to say, ladies, be ready. If you do these things that we're talking to, and we're getting to number 5, which is a big one, when you do them, be ready to get some arrows. Get those guys are going to be shooting arrows your way. Be ready for a lot of attention and being very magnetized. That's just a little warning I have to give you.
Oh yeah, so true. I love it. Yes. Okay, let's jump into the next one. This is phenomenal. Let's keep going.
Okay, so number 4 is make yourself totally present during the date, during the interaction with your husband, your boyfriend, or before the date, whatever it may be. You want to be totally present. And the way you do that is you actually practice being present before your time together. So let's say you're going to meet your guy for dinner later on and you're really nervous about it, or you're not sure. Maybe you guys had a fight the day before, whatever it may be. So when you're really present with that man, or even if you're on a first date, when you're really present with that man, you are not somewhere in the past or somewhere in the future. So our brains are constantly past, future, occasionally the present. Past, future, the present. So I'm doing this video. I'm like, what are people going to think about this video? Are girls going to use this? Are they going to comment on it? And the past is telling me, of course, they love you and Helena's videos. They always comment on these videos, right? But I want to be in the present, and I want to tell you how to be just fully grounded in this moment, authentic. So practice it before the interaction with the man. And it could be something, just a really small task, such as organizing all your makeup in your makeup bag or your makeup drawer, or cleaning out your brushes or your combs, or wiping the mirror down in your bathroom, or something small, like just doing a little bit of gardening, where you notice if you're in the past, if you're in the future, and go back to the present, go back to that present moment. So that is a practice. The more you do it, the easier you get. But when you're with a man and he's in front of you and you can just totally be with him in that moment, he's going to feel like the only guy in the world around you. And I don't know if, ladies, you have felt, or Helena, you've been with someone that makes you feel like you're the only girl in the world. And when you have that feeling, you feel so special and so magical that you cannot get enough of that person. That's why a lot of us love our grandmas so much, our grandparents so much, because when we go to see them, they just dote on us, and we're like the only people in the world in that moment. And we feel so good about ourselves. It's a really wonderful feeling. And when you have that connection with someone, you're just going to want more and more and more of that. I'm in the present with you. I'm totally here with you. I'm listening to every word you're saying. I'm not getting up in my world, and I'm with you. It's a very attractive quality, and men will just get hooked on you when you can do this.
Oh yeah, it's so true. I mean, that's what charisma is, right? Have you ever been around someone who's super charismatic and you're just like drawn into them and you're just like hanging on their every word? I think that's actually a skill that can be learned. For some people, it just comes naturally, of course, but probably the biggest part of that is really listening, really being present with the person. And they just get this feeling like, wow, it just draws them into you. So if you can be that for a man, oh my gosh. And if he's the right man, especially, it'll be reciprocal, right? He's going to light up and he's going to want to do that for you as well. That's how the connection really builds and the intimacy deepens. And just on a more kind of like bigger level, I love everything you said. I truly believe that all your resources, so to speak, are in the here and now, right? We, like you said, so often we're thinking about what just happened or what happened in the past, or we might be worried about the future or thinking about something we need to get done. And it like brings us, pops us out of the present moment. So if you can drill down into the present moment, that is your life, right? Your life is happening right now. Whether you are worried about the future or mulling over something from the past, that's your life. Whether you're thinking about the past, present, or future, that's your life right there. So the emotional reality that you're creating for yourself is kind of what life is. It's just a bunch of now moments, right? So the more you can do this, just drill down into the present moment. I love that you gave some really concrete examples. If you can focus on like a body sensation, that often helps my clients get out of their head. If you feel some tightness in your shoulders or some tension in your stomach or your legs, or just, you can't be up in your head thinking and down in your body at the same time. So body sensations are kind of a gateway into the present moment and your feminine energy and your feelings often, or if you're on a date with a guy, really focus on, how the fork feels in your hands or the glass of water, or really watch the coffee creamer swirl around in the coffee. Like, you can't be up in your head thinking and doing that at the same time, really getting into the details, really getting inside of every moment. You can experience it while it's happening. And I know that sounds simple, but hardly any of us do it, right? Like, I still have to remind myself, right? Yeah. But that's it. That's how you become magnetic. Truly, a man he won't be able to get enough of you. So Adrienne, is there anything else you want to add about number 4?
There is actually, and that's just that men, they aren't often in the future or the past. Don't get me wrong, they can be. Their brain works in similar ways as ours, but men are very much in the moment. They're very much in the moment, and when they feel that you're in the moment and you guys can connect and be in the moment together, it's just a very powerful connection to have. You're not in the future trying to solve a relationship problem or plan your wedding or, oh, is this guy going to be right for me or not? You're just in that moment with them, and it's very relaxing for them, because most women, we get up in our heads. And in fact, I tell my clients when I'm helping them learn how to do feeling statements, is one of the things I get them to do, I say, okay, when you're saying that, do you feel it up here in your forehead? Are you feeling it there? Does it feel like you're concentrating or trying to do a math equation? You can kind of feel it in your forehead. And if you're having that sensation in your forehead that I'm thinking, I'm trying to figure something out, that's when you want to go, stop what I'm doing and drop back down into my body and just be in the moment. And Helena, everything you said is so amazing. Like, feel the fork in your hand or the table, or look at the coffee swirling. It sounds like you're kind of zoning out and not in the present, but you actually really are in that moment with that man. I loved all that stuff. That was really good tips.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I want to add, when you were saying that, it just, made me think of something else. Men can kind of feel it if we're up in our head. They always kind of, on a subtle level, are worried that we're kind of trying to take them somewhere. We're trying to move things forward on some level, right? Even if we're not saying it or asking those kinds of leading questions, sometimes it's just somewhere in our eyes, it's somewhere in our energy field, right? So if you can drop down into your body, into the present moment, he is going to feel safe to take over as like the masculine energy partner. That's exactly what you want him to do. So I just wanted to throw that in there before we jump on to number 5.
It's a really good point, because I remember I used to go out on dates and I used to tell guys, I don't want to get married. I don't ever want to be married. And there was this moment where I could tell that they were trying to size me up, and, oh, am I just looking for a good time, or am I a challenge? It's this thing. And so men really think that all women are just wanting to get married and tie them up into commitment. They really are thinking that, because that is a lot of what they experience. So when you're in the moment with them, yeah, I want to be a wife one day, but I just met you, or this is just our 5th date. It's just in your energy, this really relaxed vibe. The guy can totally feel it. And you will be a bit of a challenge for him in a positive and authentic way.
Yeah, no games at all. And what happens is you're kind of reversing that dynamic. So we can often be fast forwarding to the future when men, for the most part, are kind of all about the moment. Just what Adrienne said, they just want to feel good right now. So if you can reverse that dynamic, right? Just play in the moment, feel good in the moment. Obviously, you're not going to continue dating someone if what you want is a real relationship and he says he doesn't want anything serious. You're not going to put yourself in that situation, obviously. But once that's all kind of figured out, yeah, just reverse that dynamic. Have fun in the moment. What actually tends to happen is the man will get a little sense of urgency in a good way. Like, I need to lock this girl down because it's a pretty rare woman that has these tools, that knows how to do that and just really like experience the moment, slow down the tempo of the moment. So you can really, really get into the feelings of it while it's happening.
Oh, that's all really good stuff. Guys are going to go nuts for this, ladies. So watch out. Again, I'm warning you. I'm just giving a little public service announcement. Moving on to number 5. This is about just the last thing I want to share with you all, and the tips to really get him to chase you is, so often we go into a situation saying, I hope I get this. I hope I can make this happen, and fill this in with whatever you want. Or I'm hoping this date will go really, really great. And that sounds like an intention, but it sounds like I want, and give it to me. This is what I need right now. So instead, I just want you to flip that around and just find out how much you can give. How much you can, to the waiter or waitress that's serving you on your date, just be so appreciative, be so thankful in the moment. If the guy does anything nice for you, if he tells you you look beautiful, he picks up your napkin, if you drop your napkin, he opens the door for you, be in that moment and just say, well, what can I do that's going to give back, and be just grateful and thankful in this moment. So this is actually a really powerful tool. I saved it for last because when you practice this, instead of what can I get, what can I have, what's going to happen for me, I believe you actually make a big shift inside your body that's going to have a permanent change. It's going to reflect in a lot of other ways in your life. So when you practice this one, I think it's very powerful. It shifts your energy. It gets you on a new track, a new line of thinking, feeling, and being. The man will notice, but also a lot of things in your life might begin to really perk up and change for the better by focusing more on what you are grateful for versus what I want to have happen, what I want in this situation.
Wow, amazing. I mean, I always talk about not coming from a place of lack, coming from a place of abundance, right? And that's literally, I mean, that's exactly how to do it. So great. That was so phenomenal. Yeah, it's like you don't want to get into this grasping energy. Like, I'm just trying stuff because I need this. On a subtle level, if you're like, I need this man to, do what I want, whatever that looks like, commit to me, love me, jump over all these obstacles to be with me, anything like that we can get into when we're coming from a place of lack. It's a man can feel that. And not only can he feel it and it pushes him away, it just doesn't feel good to us. So this is really powerful for all areas of your life. What do you have that feels really good? Like, look for the best, most positive aspects of every situation, and you'll start to get more and more of that, right? I always say only talk about and think about things that you want a repeat experience of, right? So if something happens, you get lost and it takes forever, you miss the movie, rather than dwelling on it and complaining and thinking small, zoom out, because it's not about those little things. It's about the energy of what's going on. It's about the intimacy dynamic and creating this magnetic pull on a man. And coming from a place of gratitude and appreciation, it's just one of the most attractive things anyone can do, really. Don't you think, Adrienne?
Oh, it'll change your life. It'll change your mood. Whatever's going wrong in your world, whatever's happening, it is so easy to get caught up in a negative loop of thinking. It takes your brain cells going, wait a minute, I can change this. I can change this just by focusing on the things that are feeling good in my life right now. It's something I have to practice every day. It's just reminding myself how good I have it, just how good we have it in America, for example, and so many other things we can be thankful for. And when you really open up your heart to gratitude that you have clean water, you have an abundance of food, you have great friends, you have a roof over your head. These little things, it sounds kind of cliche. It might sound a little woo for some of you or new age, but really it does shift your energy, and you come from a place of, instead of what can I take, what can I give, and what can I offer? And it makes you, I talk about it, you turn into that barefoot running in the park girl, that beautiful, magnetic feminine energy creature. That is what a man falls in love with. He does not fall in love with the diva or the girl who sees how much she can get or have. This is not the attractive qualities. He falls in love for that vulnerability, that softness. And these are all things that are authentic to you. They're true to you. The world's been hard, and it's tough for all of us. We all have our battles. But when we decide to be soft on the outside and have that softness and that beautiful soft vulnerability on the outside, but know who we are on the inside, have our boundaries, and really be confident in our boundaries and our limitations as a woman, what we will do, what we won't do, what we will put up with, and what we'll embrace instead. That gives you that strength on the inside and that softness on the outside. And Helena, you're always saying a quote about really trusting yourself as a woman. Do you know what I'm talking about? Trusting your boundaries?
Yeah, so something like you don't have to worry about trusting a man as long as you trust yourself. Is that the right one? Yeah, trusting yourself, your own feelings, your own intuition. Everything we're talking about in this video is what gets you in touch with that. This feminine energy side that connects us to this like superpower we have as women, which is our intuition, right? That it's your own guidance system that will serve you better than anything else, anything we could ever tell you or any other coach, right? So yeah, it's really about connecting to that. We did want to make the distinction that when we say, what can you give? It's not like, what can I do for a man and give to him and in this leaning forward, over functioning energy, but really what you're giving to him when you're in the presence of a man is your energy, right? If you can come from a place of abundance and just connected to yourself in the present moment and to him, that's an amazing gift for a man. Your energy is just your value in the interactions and in the relationship. So don't think of it as that, oh, I have to do all these things for him. Just lean back and then let him give to you, and then giving back to a man from that place is fantastic. Go for it, right? It's almost like your cup's overflowing because you're feeling so good in the moment and feel so appreciative of what he's doing for you, right?
Yeah, totally. So I often say that you can't take care of yourself if you're taking care of everybody else. It's not gonna, it doesn't go that way. So this is about, instead of wanting control or outcome, this is about what can I give? What can I offer? Sometimes just being a good listener, just being present, giving a person space to listen to them without having an opinion or any sort of suggestions or coaching or, helping them in some way, but you're just giving them that space to listen. Sometimes the act of that will just really help change your mojo. I talk about moving up the tiers. So often you're on a date with a man and it may not, be the best, match for either of you, but that man is in front of you right now for a reason. That man is an opportunity to learn. So the universe is handing you this person in front of you right now, and go ahead and be fully present. Instead of what can I get for this person, this outcome isn't going to be the way that I want it. What can I go ahead and give back? How can I be here with that person and be a positive experience? So again, you move up that tier. When you're a positive experience on a date, even if you never want to see the guy again, you're having a positive stroke and he's having a positive stroke. Both of you benefit from that. Both of you benefit from it. And if you've ever had a man go on a date with you and he never calls you back, he never gets in touch with you, he never reaches out to you again, just notice what you're going into hoping the outcome will be, or the results will be. What do you want? What did you want to have happen? And instead flip that around and just ask, what can I give myself? How can I be of service to myself or other people in my life who do love me, who are there for me. And don't forget, you're absolutely lovable just the way you are. You have loads of people who love you and appreciate you. If one man has decided to walk away from you, you have hundreds of people behind you ready to scoop in and just wrap their arms around you and give you lots of love. Not just that one guy.
That is so true. Yeah, just keep in mind what you focus on grows. What you're, putting your attention on or giving your attention to is what you're going to get more and more and more of. And this is kind of a silly story, but it just came to mind when you when you were saying that. I remember one time, gosh, probably like over 10 years ago, I went on a date with this guy. It was an online date, first time meeting. We went to dinner and he talked the whole time. It was just talk. I mean, and so rather than getting turned off and be like, he hasn't asked me one question about myself. He's been talking this whole time. I just remember thinking, you know what? Like, I've been talking all day at work. I don't really feel like talking right now. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy this free dinner. And then once I kind of clicked into that, just like, I'm just out right now. It feels good to be out. I've been inside all day and I don't even have to put in effort to this conversation. I could just listen. Of course, I didn't necessarily want to go on a date with him again. And of course, I didn't want to be in a relationship with him. But once I clicked into like, what are some positive aspects about this experience that I'm having right now? I could really kind of appreciate him. He was really funny. He made me laugh. And again, I didn't have to do much of the talking, and that's great. It was perfect for where I was at right now. So if I were to get so irritated and hung up on the fact that he was talking the whole time and he didn't ask me anything about myself, I would have attracted that over and over and over until I shifted it. And then you can start to go, oh, well, all men are just self-centered, or all men are, liars or cheaters or unavailable, or fill in the blank. But really, there's so many men out there. Yes, there might be some, unavailable men or self-centered men out there, but there's also a bunch of amazing available men who would really love to give to you and be there for you and just be a great relationship partner. Those guys are out there too. So where are you putting your attention and focus? Just a tip for people who are out there. I've been hearing from so many women lately who are frustrated at the seeming lack of high quality men, but it's all coming from inside yourself, your own mindset and your own kind of belief systems around this. So it might be a topic for a whole nother video, but I thought I kind of fit into this focus on the positive.
I love it. I love it, Helena. Before I met my husband, I remember I was joking that there were no men in my city. My city was actually voted in a magazine one time. I'm not sure how this happened. The most unattractive men were in my city. It was number one. I'm not kidding you. This is true. Google it. And I remember just joking, I'm going to have to import a man in. And sure enough, when I met my husband, he had just moved from up north. He had just moved to this area. And I was like, wow, I guess I imported a guy. I wasn't even aware of it, but it was in my energy. So that's kind of a sillier example, but I think it's still a similar thing.
Yeah, because totally. Yeah, we can get into stories and we think it's something outside of ourselves that's causing our experience. There's no men in my town. I hear a lot of like men aren't interested in single mothers when there's so much evidence to the contrary. I've had so many clients where that has not been their experience. Once they start kind of doing some of this mindset work, shifting their beliefs, and then of course doing these tools on the outside too, working from the inside out and the outside in at the same time. That's what will get you those fast, dramatic, quick results. So yeah, Adrienne, anything else you want to share about this topic before we close out?
Well, just remember you're lovable. Wrap your arms around yourself. You're lovable, you're loved, and get in touch with just how awesome and great you are. Your power is within you. You are a powerful, beautiful, magnetizing woman, and a man, the right type of man, is going to notice that. He's going to be drawn to it, and he's not going to be able to get enough of you. So it's going to happen so easy for you once you get in alignment and you start attracting the right type of men your way. It will become so easy, ladies.
So true. I mean, we talk about this extensively in our program called Find and Keep the One Without Coming Undone. Also too in Heartbroken to Happily Ever After, but in Find the One, we really go deep into some of this stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll post a link in the description right below this video. Actually, both programs, if you buy them together, are on sale now at the special bundle price. So be sure to check those out if you're interested in learning more. And, let us know your experiences with this in the comment section. We love hearing from you guys, any thoughts or questions you have around this topic. We learned so much from you. Like I said, we learned as much from hearing about your experiences as you hear from us. So thank you so much, Adrienne. This was phenomenal, and I hope we can do this again soon.
Oh, thanks for having me, Helena. Bye, everybody.